The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Bon dia.
Bon dia. You're already laughing, huh?
Yeah, no, I you know how I am. I'm like an idiot. I always laugh at the introduction every time I see it.
So welcome back for one more show of the Table Topics. And our agenda, it's open, at least my agenda, it's open. I don't know what we're gonna talk about today. It is a couple of things that I want to talk about, but let's see what you got.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing you, Carlos. So you said that you want me to talk about something. Is that what you're saying?
I have a few things that I want to talk about, but
okay.
I want to give you a chance to start.
Okay. No, if you have a topic already, go for it. I'm fine with that. So.
Well, budget.
Budget.
Yes, very interesting things that we are already hearing about.
Yes.
That the administration are working to put on this budget. They try a couple of times that that exclusion from the school. I don't think they're gonna try. I don't think they're gonna try again this year, but they are trying $5 million for that top of the line field for the school.
Yeah. I think, and I just look at it like a kind of buyer's remorse. When I go buy something and you tell me it's like 260 million, and I think that's all it is, and then you come back about 6 months later and said, now I need to add another 7 million for this and another 3 million for this. Again, it's you told me this is what the price was. Now you're coming back with more things, and my feeling would be like, we need to cut this out. We don't know what's going to come down the line with this whole COVID thing. We know a lot of businesses have really been hurt during this time. So, and then on the other hand, I think, well, you know what, just do it right the first time, or just put all the money in there. But as folks know, we've had an increase in our taxes this year. And it wasn't due to the tax rate going up. It was due to our properties being worth more, which is great. However, if you have to come up with that 800 or 1,000 extra a year, which is, a good $80 to $90 a month, and you're not going to sell your house now, who cares?
Well, and the funny thing is, they love to appraise our houses high. But the problem is, if you decide to sell your house, your bank's going to estimate your house, and it's not worth it what you pay tax for.
Yeah. It's unfortunately, it comes. It's a slow, because I guess they're behind a year. So if things, say the market tanked next June, it started going down and things went down $50,000. It's never going to catch up at that time. So we're paying a higher amount now. But I mean, if you look at what's going on around this area, I mean, I'm hearing that people are basically, they put a house up for 320, and there are so many people that come in that they give them $20,000 and $30,000 more than the asking price. So,
well, according to our financial CEO, they are basing the new money into the budget.
Yep.
They are putting the eggs on the new homes.
Yeah.
So that's what they have to increase the budget, the new money coming into the budget is the new homes.
Yeah.
So no wonder we have 5 houses fitting in a space that's only can fit 2 houses.
Yeah. I know. No, I hear you.
So you see the connection why we need to squeeze these houses and build as much we can.
Yeah.
That's what's being sold to the people that are making decisions on these boards.
Yeah. No, I agree.
It's money. Yeah. But since we're talking about this, and I talked to you before about that, people breaking the law should be the ones paying for fees and the city raising money from the people breaking the law. We had snow yesterday, okay? So if you walk today, I went for my walk today, 75%, maybe 80% of the houses that I walked today, they didn't clean the sidewalks. Yeah. Okay? So guess where could we get money? Where can we get money when people break law?
Yeah. Well, we've always, I mean, Carlos, this city's always had a problem with enforcement. So, what happens is things don't get done. If you have an ordinance or something out there, a law, it's only as good as the enforcement. And that's always been an issue in this city, at least the 30 years that I've been here.
Yeah, but guess what? But they have no problems if you go to the post office or you go to City Hall and you take 5 minutes longer, you have $20 on your card to pay for a ticket.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
I mean, this people didn't even left the car there to all day. They're 5 minutes late, and they already have a $20 ticket on this, which they want to raise again.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, it's not we're gonna be in for some rough times, and it's just when the economy runs in cycles. So we had a really good economy for 6 or 7 years. It was fairly decent, and then we had this whole COVID thing, and I'm sure we had to hit a downward cycle at one time, but the COVID thing is not helping it at all. So it's going to be interesting. I think that there's a bill the COVID bill they're trying to get through Congress and the Senate, and a lot of that is to provide aid to states and cities because of the lack of resources that are coming in. People aren't going out to restaurants. They're really not buying new cars. They're not really going to the stores that they did. So then they're not getting the tax income that they got before. So, I mean, that's good and bad because, I mean, it's good for us here, but it's bad for us here too, because what are we doing? We're just using that printing machine. That printing press is going. We're at $27 trillion right now. There's going to be a tipping point where it's like no more, and that's what scares me. If you look at history, once people do not have faith in the currency anymore, that becomes a real problem. So,
well, it's interesting because I was talking to somebody. I didn't ask him what party he is, probably socialist. I don't know. But I was talking to somebody that said we are the only country that can print money the way we print.
Yeah.
And really doesn't matter how much that we have, because that's not going to make a difference.
Yeah.
And 20 years from now, it's not going to make a difference. It's there. If we don't pay, we don't pay. We just keep printing.
However, this is the problem. We're the reserve currency right now for the world. So everybody exchanges their money into dollars. What happens when China says, I don't want to do that anymore? They're the second biggest economy. They go with Russia, and Russia says they don't want to do that. What happens when we lose that reserve currency? Now, case in point, back in September of 19, we went to Portugal, right? The euro was running at 91 euros to a dollar. So, it was roughly $1.10 of our money to get a euro. Now it's down to 81 So we lost 10 more cents. So now it's $1.20. You know, a euro would be worth a dollar. Well, it's the reverse. I'm sorry. So it's 80 of their cents. So yeah, so I believe I'm trying to think of it's $1. We have to give them $1.20 to get €1. That's what it was. I was getting messed up.
So our money went up.
Yeah, no, our money went down.
But, exactly. So lost value.
Yeah. So I mean, we have to give $1.20 of our dollar to get €1, because so we lost roughly 10 cents or 10 euros. I mean, you know, whatever the cents are for euros. But so our money's gone down. Our money's also gone down against the pound, the British pound. Our money has gone down against the Australian dollar, the US, the New Zealand dollar. So a lot of these currencies, even like I look at South Africa, it was at one time our dollar was 20 of their rand, their dollars there. Now it's down to 16. So our currency is losing some value. And like I said, if we ever lose that reserve currency status, there's no more printing press anymore. The printing press is broken.
Either the machines are broke or we run out of ink.
Yeah,
but let me was one more thing that on the school department. I keep hearing this lawsuit that the superintendent actually had back in Brockton and you know
Swampscott.
No, I'm talking about the Malone, the superintendent of schools.
Oh, okay.
So a bunch of before he moved into Fall River or worked in Fall River, because he never moved to Fall River, but that's besides the point. He escaped some jobs that he had before that he got sued for. You know, accusations that that he was found guilty, I guess.
Oh, wow.
And we paid $25,000 for an investigation that nobody can see it.
Yeah.
And it's not coming out.
Yeah.
So the accusations it's out there. Just for the reason that this don't come out is because I think it's not on his favor. Because if it was on his favor, will be the front page of the paper already. Say, I told you it's all lies.
Yeah.
So, and talking to city councils, I guess they modified the contracts, and I guess they're going to sign the contracts again. They're going to renew his contract. But talking to city councils, they say that actually they don't have. It's two different parties. They actually don't have nothing to do with it. And I just told the one city council, well, it has to do and don't have to do it, because you approve the budget, you approve the money they're going to spend. Yeah. So that's when you have to sit. That's when you have to stand up. Yeah. When this budget comes, okay, here's your voice to say, we're not going to approve this budget because we don't agree with this person being handing this job.
Yeah.
So the end of the day, they have the checkbook on the hand and they have the yes or no.
Yeah. Well, something you just mentioned, I didn't even realize. I don't know why we paid $25,000 for an investigation. Was it an outside company that did that? Because that's what the HR department is there for, to go through and get statements from witnesses, get statements from the superintendent. That's their job to do that. So I would have an issue that we just wasted $25,000 to do that. That sounds like a lot of money to me.
Well, it's not just the fact that it's not just the fact. So we taxpayer, we paid for an investigation that we cannot see it.
Yeah,
we cannot even see it.
I still have an issue paying that kind of money for an investigation. You're going to get witness statements from each of the people that have brought the complaint and from whoever they complained about. So I don't know.
Well, it's suits being made against him.
Yeah.
Okay, that's going to come up. It's going to come up from the school budget.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like a mess, but again, I don't know why why we spent $25,000. That's a lot of money for an investigation when we have they have a full HR department there. I know we have the HR director, and I know I had read that it's the mayor's brother. I mean, he was probably in that position way before the mayor came in. But I mean, there are other people that work in that department. If there was some kind of conflict of interest, there are other people in that department that could have gone and interviewed these folks and wrote a report.
Well, and this and supposedly another three school members have interest of conflict because I guess one, the wife got a job from the school department. The other one has daughters or has a daughter working for the school department. So guess what? Sure, they're not gonna vote to cancel a contract, right?
Yeah. What are you talking? Are you talking about the school committee members?
School committee members.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's another issue. You know what I mean? If there's, you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's an entirely other issue. But, taking that aside, I don't see why they didn't just do an internal with people that are in HR, get reports, and then, everybody compile their interviews with these people and write a report and say, this is what it was and present it.
But you know something, like they saying is not guilty, is not guilty. He wrote a letter apologizing.
Yeah.
For what he did back in August. So if you apologize, you just saying that you did it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
it's like a confession. It's like a confession. Why you apologize if you didn't did it?
Yes, you got something there.
Right. So it's like putting these guys in a room with the investigator, and they don't let them go until they apologize. So guess what? That's how they get them. It's because if you're apologizing, it's because you did it.
Yeah. No, I mean you know what, Carlos, you know a lot more about it. I'm not really following that too much. I mean, I hear a little bit about it, but I mean, it's it from what you're saying, it sounds like it could have been done a little bit better.
Yes.
And I don't know. Yeah, it's like I said, you're the subject matter expert on this. So I'm going to go with what you're saying.
Well, I don't know the everything about, but I hear some stuff. People call me telling me some stuff. But it's just frustrated because we elect a city council to be our voice, to kind of count all the pennies in our budget, our spending. And we have a problem like this, that we paying an investigation that we probably going to get sued. Who's going to pay for all this money? It's us. And according to them, it's a different body. We cannot say anything. We cannot. No. The way I see it, yes, he's probably going to get away with the school committee, but he should not get away with the city council.
Yeah. Well,
the city council has a voice when they're going to approve that school budget.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what to me, I'm not sure if they can, but the city council, I would think when the budget comes around, and I think you kind of alluded to that earlier, is that say there's a suit that comes out and it's $20,000, take it out of your budget. Take it out of the school committee budget then, if that's the case, instead of taking it out of the regular city budget. I mean, I don't even know if that's an option, but maybe that's something they can look at, But yeah, it's, I mean, I've been following a little bit, but I see you're kind of like how I am with the whole zoning thing. That's more of a thorn in my side, that it's like, we've been doing this, and it appears that a committee did speak about this. So maybe there'll be some kind of movement and, get some ordinances together to kind of stop what's been going on. But I hear you with this. It's we shouldn't be wasting money. If this is something where we do get sued, I think in the private sector, or even in other government agencies, there's probably, you got to be held to task.
Mm-hmm.
If the company or the entity has to pay money out, you know what I mean? So we'll see, I
Yeah.
guess, what happens. We'll see what happens.
Let me see if you agreed with me that
Yep.
I was thinking the way the taxes are going up,
Yep.
the elderly cannot afford to stay on their homes. They work all their lives.
Yep.
One passed away, so
Yep.
the other one should enjoy their work, their house until they die too.
Yeah.
So they've been pushed out. They've been forced to put the houses for sale because they can no longer afford to pay tax and pay water and all of that.
Yep.
And the new people, the new generation is moving out.
Yep.
New generation don't want to stay here. Okay. So I see 40 years from now,
Yep.
the 60 to 70% of our houses going to be owned by outsiders.
Could be. What's interesting, the new census came, they didn't give a breakdown, but we did increase in population. I think we have 90,400 people now or something, but we're in the 90,000 range, where we were at like 88 or 87 at the beginning of the decade back in 2010. We were losing people. But you got to look, Carlos, in a way, all these houses going up, it's got to be adding people here. You know what I mean? When they're building these houses all over the place, it can't be only for, the people that are living here, or you see a lot more vacancies. And, you get the whole supply and demand with apartments. Apartments are insane. What people are getting now, 1,200, 1,300, 1,400.
I'm looking around for an apartment for my daughter.
Yeah.
Because her contract it's going to end, and the person needs the house. So I'm looking for an apartment for my daughter. Number one, I could not find anything for less than 1,200.
Yep.
And number two is she has a small dog. Nobody wants to rent apartments with animals. I'm at the point that I'm going to have to buy a house with apartments so my daughters can move in. That's a shame, but that's my solution. That's my solution out. It's either she's going to have to move to the basement, or because my house it's only one floor, or I'm going to have to buy a house.
Yeah.
So my daughter can live there. If she's going to pay $1,200, $1,400, $1,500 a month, she can pay her own house.
Yeah.
Because she's going to end up getting the house.
Yeah, but you know what, Carlos? It's like, when you look at it too, though, I get what you're saying. I understand why people are charging this money, because you look at it, the taxes are probably close to $5,000 on a multi, because you figure now they're going for $400,000, which is insane. Insurance is another $2,000, water is another $1,000, and then you got your mortgage. I mean, so folks have to charge that, but it's insane how much the price of housing is. To me, probably 15 years ago, nobody wanted multifamilies. They were selling it for 150 if you could. You know what I mean? Now they're trying to sell for 400.
And wait, if this gold train gets to Fall River, he's not coming to Fall River. I think the train, they saying the train's coming to Fall River. I think that the train is going to Boston, because a lot of these people from Boston will have no problem paying $2,500 in rent in here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you're right.
They will have no problem.
Yeah.
So here he goes. The people will not afford to work in here for McDonald's for $15 an hour and pay this kind of money.
Yeah. Well, I agree. What's happened over the last, I think, 15 years is that people are being pushed out of Boston. So they've been pushed down to a certain point. Now, I was talking to somebody a couple of years back that in Brockton, like this was about 2 years ago, you couldn't get an apartment for under $1,500. And that's why you see people from Brockton and even Taunton moving further south, because it's a little bit cheaper here. But I think we're to the point now where we're just as expensive as there. So why come any further south away from your job even more? But you're right. Once the train comes in, and it's a single person, hey, if they have a 2-hour commute, you have no responsibilities, you're single, and you can actually afford a decent place, you will probably come down here. So I totally agree with you. You know, totally agree.
Well, talking about the increase of people, I just want to see the numbers for 2020, because it was going to be a lot of newborns, There's people are locked at home for 10 months. Remember that.
Yeah, no,
you're
right. Yeah, we'll see.
A girl could get pregnant, had the baby, and still in lockdown.
Yeah, no, you're right. A lot of folks since March, a lot of people have worked from home, right? Since March.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's a year. And it's funny you're mentioning this, because I was talking to my wife about this, that it's going to be difficult to finally get people to go back, you know, because especially now, right? Did you see the new executive order that the president came out with that said, look, if you don't feel safe going back to work because of COVID, you can stay on unemployment. It's going to be tough to get to get people to go back if you're going to let them continue. So so we're in for an interesting couple of years for sure. At least the next 2 years to see how. Yeah,
I know. We have 2 minutes left, but one question I have for you, and we have 2 minutes to talk about, and it's talking about the new president. Is the president doing something that he did not talk about during the campaign?
Well, he didn't talk about some of these things, but I knew he was going to do those. So I'll give you an example. The pipeline, the Keystone pipeline, he signed an executive order to get rid of that. Thousands of union people are out of work right now. Now, I don't have an issue with going green, but let's get this stuff going so these people can transfer into the jobs. Don't cancel this pipeline and all these people unemployed during a COVID problem. You know, during a COVID pandemic, you're laying more people off. I just don't think that makes a whole lot of sense right now. So, but he did say he was going to do that. He says, I'm not going to stop fracking. He's not going to stop it, but he's just not going to agree to extend any of these leases on these properties. So, so far, if you want me to tell you what grade I think he gets, I'm going to give him an F so far. But that's just my personal opinion.
He got an F as soon as he put the hand on that Bible anyway.
Well, I mean, exactly. I don't know why.
But what amazes me is people really getting surprised by what he's doing. Well, he talked about all this stuff, that if he got elected, he was going to do this, he was going to do that, and he got elected. So what is the surprise? That's what buggers me is the Fox News is melting down. They're all melting down. But well,
I already knew that. I mean, he wasn't totally honest at times. He's had more executive orders than any president in the first 2 weeks, but we knew he was going to do that. Most people knew that. So there's not a surprise at all. At least for me, I'm not surprised at all. So
I'm surprised that this stimulus check was not part of one of his books, because he talked about that before, and now he's just want to get the senators involved on that decision. So very good. So we are out of time. John, thank you again for another show. I think we covered the very good points.
Yep, sounds good.
And see you next week.
Yep, next week. Bye night.